Welcome back to the channel, and the first round is now complete in the 2025 World Championships. Have we had some upsets? A couple of big ones, but I think throughout the first round in general, you've had a few good results, a few obvious results, and a couple of shocks. So let's talk about it. So I'm going to talk through the 32 round, and then I'm going to talk about the 16 round, which has already started, but I'm going to talk about that when I get there. Top of the draw, Jack Jones against Yao Xingtong. Xingtong come out a 10-4 winner. I did predict he would win, but he played great. I do quote Jack saying, I don't think I've seen anybody play as good as him on about Xingtong. Has he got a great chance of winning it? He's got a chance. He is in a nasty section of the draw, though. So we'll see. Next one, massive shock of the first round. Well, one of the two big shocks, in my opinion. Kyren Wilson, reigning world champion, has gone out to Li Pei Fan, Chinese player, 10-9. Kyren had a spirited comeback from 9-6 behind, but in the decider, Li Pei Fan held himself together very well and to get over the line 10-9. He actually plays Xingtong in the last 16, but we'll get to that. Mark Allen I predicted to beat Fan Zhenyi, and he did. He won 10-6. Solid performance from Mark. Prior to today, had a great chance of winning the event. Would I say he's a dark horse? No, I wouldn't. I think he's one of the genuine leaders for the event, and the World Championships is only the one missing for the Triple Crown, so he's going to be wanting to win that. Next one, big shock. Well, was it a big shock or not? He was ranked number 20th in the world, but I think Chris Wakelin knocked out the number 9 seed Neil Robertson 10-8. He took a massive lead going into the night session, and to be fair, he started to wobble, but Neil just couldn't quite get there in the end, and it got him sort of at it, but he just couldn't convert and get it to a decider and potentially win the match. So Chris held himself together. Well, he fell over the line in the end, 10-8. He's now got Mark Allen. I'll get back to that one. Pang Zhenyi against Zhang Anda. I predicted a decider in that one. It was 7-all at one point. The first time, I think, from the first frame that Pang went in front was at 8-7. Did I think Pang was going to win? He's got a solid enough game to beat Anda, but I thought Anda would have scored slightly heavier. And the back session of the match, he did seem to wilt a little bit, and he sort of fell away, which I was quite surprised around because I thought Zhang Anda might have been a little bit of a dark horse for the event. But Pang won. Ronnie won against Ali Carter, 10-4. Was it a 10-4 scoreline? In theory, Carter would be kicking himself. He probably had 14 chances and he only converted 4. I think getting out of the first session 5-4 behind, Ronnie would have felt like he's won the session 6-3. Carter probably had a chance nearly every frame. I was actually playing myself at the time, so I didn't watch 100%, but I know that he had plenty of chances. In the second session, Ronnie come out and just basically did the Ronnie of old. One thing I would say with Ronnie, though, obviously he's got the titanium ferrule on, as they were talking about in the studio. And can he survive the event with the ferrule? Obviously, he's got a brand new cue and the ferrule. What a lot of people wouldn't know, whereas obviously like the people that play cue sports to a decent level would know the effects of a titanium ferrule over a brass ferrule. And the biggest thing is when Ronnie plays with safety shots, he plays a lot with side, and he manages to catch the wafer side of the ball. With a titanium ferrule, it will push the line, will be different. So can he survive? If he'd have played, for example, Pang or Zhang Anda in the first session, I feel like they'd have took a lead into the night and maybe put a bit more pressure on Ronnie. Should Carter have took a lead into the night? He definitely should have. And then when obviously Ronnie let go in the end and he stopped, he scored really nicely to win 10-4. Ronnie, it's a tricky one. Obviously, I'd love to see him win an eighth, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He's got Pang in the next round, and I'll talk about that later. Massive shock for me, this one. Mark Selby losing to Ben Wollaston 10-8. I actually, Mark was my favourite for the event, especially coming in the top half. I know he would have played Ronnie in the quarterfinals, but I did feel that he would have got. I thought he would. I personally thought he was going to play Xing Tong in the semi-finals. He had tip troubles, and Ben held himself together well in the end. But it was a really scrappy match last night. They both sort of knocked each other out of the rhythm, and they both find it very difficult to score. Um, yeah, very. I'm very surprised about that. And although Alan lost to Li Pei Fan, no, sorry, Kyron Wilson lost to Li Pei Fan in the first round. I would say the biggest shock would be Ben beating Mark. The only one thing I would say in that case is if Ben wouldn't have practiced with Mark as much as he would he have beat Mark? Because he's so comfortable in playing Mark day to day, maybe the slight bit of fear factor might have gone, which probably makes Li Pei Fan winner against Kyron in the situation of defending champion a slightly bigger win than Ben over Mark. But Ben's not been to the Crucible for 11 years. Special occasion for him, and obviously he got the job done, and congratulations to Ben. C. Jarwee beat Dave Gilbert. There was a massive frame early doors. I think it was 3-all. Dave was on 60, and he broke down. They went scrappy anyway, and C. Jarwee missed his last ball and snookered himself on it. Alan, keep on saying Alan. Dave Gilbert got out the snooker but left him. He cleared it to nick it by a point or a couple of points. Then he went on to get a 6-3 lead for the first session, whereas it would have been 4-3 to Dave. Yeah, I did predict Dave in that one. C. Jarwee's obviously got over the line 10-6, and C. Jarwee plays Ben Wollaston next round. So a massive section there for them, especially C. Jarwee. Gudong beat Matt Sell. I predicted Gudong to win. Like I said before, they both play very similar game, but I felt that Gudong scored heavier. I know Matt made a mistake on, I think it was the yellow. I haven't watched 100% of the event so far. I've been busy, but I did see him miss a yellow, and I can't even remember what score it was at the time. Yeah, Gudong won 10-4. John Higgins played Joe O'Connor, and he won 10-7. Joe will be kicking himself, I feel, early doors. Joe was all over him. John looked out of sorts. He managed to get out of the session 5-4 behind. John did, and he played a good last session. Although Joe did have chances, he did make errors, and he will be kicking himself. I predicted this one to be a decider, so it was Mark Williams against Wu Yiza. He actually won 10-8. Again, not surprised that Mark won, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Wu Yiza would have won either. But I think Mark just shown his class in the end and got through a very tight match. Barry Hawkins ended up losing 10-9 to Hussein Bafai, which was not a shock. I predicted Barry to win. Hussein Bafai scored very heavy. He's in the low 20s of the ranking, so he's one of the players that would have been massively odds on to get to the Crucible. Probably one of the ones that the seeds wouldn't have really wanted to play. But yeah, I know at 49 in the decider, he's potted a red into the green bag, and he come round for the blue, and he shouted, "Come on!" He said, "I'd like 4 or 5 balls to pot." But he held himself together well and took out a 10-9 win. Ding beat Zach Shirty 10-7. Shout out to Zach, good performance. I think he had a few centuries. And yeah, didn't disgrace himself in any way. I think it's his first time at the Crucible, but I just felt that Ding would get there in the end, which he did. This was one I predicted Ryan Day to win, and to be honest, I was looking good for a long spell of the match. He was 5-1 in front. Luca managed to win 10-7 in the end. Ryan will be kicking himself. He missed the pink into the middle at 5-1 in front, having potted a long red. And basically, the balls were sitting there. I know it was only on a one break, but Luca actually cleared up from that break and managed to get out the first session 5-4 down. And obviously took control of the night session to win 10-7. The bottom two names of the draw. So Judd Trump played Jia Yu Long. Again, good performance by Judd. He got out the first session, I think it was 6-3. And then he just went crackers early doors. I think he had 3 centuries in the first 4 frames in the night session. And yeah, standout favourite really now. I feel it's not Judd's to lose, but it's going to take something very special to beat him. But if there's one man that can beat him, it's the next match. Sean Murphy played Daniel Wells. Again, shout out to Daniel Wells. I'm not sure how many times he's been to the Crucible, if he has been at all, but he had a couple of centuries. Didn't disgrace himself in any way, but Sean took over with his power scoring, and Trump plays Sean Murphy in the last 16, which is going to be the blockbuster of the round. So in total, 16 predictions. I got 10 right. So disappointing, possibly. Yeah, probably. I obviously had Hawkins lose 10-9. I had Mark Selby lose 10-8, who would have been massive favourite. And I had Kyron Wilson lose 10-9, who was also a massive favourite. Then I did pick a couple of outsiders, and they were actually in the match for a long period of the game. But it's the way it goes. So let's talk about the last 16. So Li Pei Fan draw has got Zhao Xingtong. It now goes race to 13. So I feel that everyone's won a match, so the nerves are gone a little bit from the Crucible nerves. But now they can play their way into the match. These matches have started, by the way. I am recording this on the morning it comes out, and I'll tell you the scores when I've actually recorded it. So I'm going to go with, although Li Pei Fan had a good win against Kyron Wilson, I feel that Xingtong's scoring power and his effortless cue ball, really, and I feel like he looks like $1 million when he's playing, he's going to take over. And I feel like Xingtong's going to probably win by 5 frames. So I'd say 13-7, maybe 13-8 sort of mark. The next match is Chris Wakelin against Mark Allen. Originally, I would have said Mark Allen to win. He's now 6-2 behind. I feel if he can get out of this session 5-4, a 5-4 win, and go 10-7, he's got a good chance still. Anything apart from a win in the session, obviously he's going to be in very big trouble. Chris Wakelin looked comfortable. He looked comfortable in the first session. It's hard because I got the 6. Originally, I'd have predicted Mark Allen to win 13-9 or 10. So I'm going to stick with that, even though he's 6-2 down currently at this minute. Ronnie O'Sullivan's playing Pang. So Pang had the win against Zangander, and Ronnie had the win against Ali Carter. I feel like if Ronnie plays his first session like he did against Carter, against Pang, Pang will take the lead. I feel that Pang is he's extremely steady, and he's definitely top 16 to come. I do feel Ronnie will win, but this is a potential banana skin. I feel like Ronnie's going to get him 13-9 or 13-10. So C. Jarwi, who beat Dave Gilbert, and Ben, who beat Mark Selby, play each other now in the last 16. I'm going to go with C. Jarwi to win 13-10. You're doing a lot of 13-9, 13-10. Yeah, C. Jarwi to win 13-10. So this match has already started. John Higgins, who beat Joe O'Connor, and Zhao Guidong, who beat Matthew Selt, play now, and it is currently 4-4. I would have said John would win 13-10 again, 13-11, and as it's 4-4, still at the same prediction, 13-10, 13-11 to John Higgins. Hossein Bafai and Mark Williams play each other now. So Mark Williams beat Wu Yiza, and Hossein Bafai come through with a tight one against Barry Hawkins. They play each other, and it's literally about to start. I'm going to go with Mark Williams to win, just for experience. I'm going to go with a 13-9 to Mark Williams. So the bottom two matches are Ding Junhui, who beat Zach Shorty, and Luca Brissell, who beat Ryan Day. I'm going to go with Ding to get him. It's going to be a tight one, though. That could possibly be a decider. I'm going to go with 13-11 either way. I know I said Ding originally. I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit, and I'm going to say either way 13-11. But if I was to favour one player, I would say Ding. The bottom match, arguably the biggest tie of the round, Sean Murphy, who beat Daniel Wells, and Judd Trump, who looked in brilliant form against Zhao Yulong, play each other. That actually starts tomorrow morning, and I am going to tune in for that one. There's going to be a lot of centuries in this match. I'd probably say there'll be more than 5 centuries, maybe 6 centuries, maybe 7 centuries. This is Judge year now, and I think he'll take a lot of confidence knowing that Kyron's gone, Selby's gone, Robertson's gone. I know Ronnie's back and he's here. He's not quite 100%, and I feel that Trump will be thinking, this is my event now to win. But look, Murphy's playing some unbelievable stuff. I actually went to the Masters and watched the final, and he was good in the final there. And he's sort of taken the form through the Masters into the Players, and so I'm going to go with a tight one again. But I feel that Trump's going to win 13-10 or 11. I should have just said basically 13-10 or 11 to everyone, shouldn't I? But yeah, I feel like Trump will get him in the end. But I do think it's going to be a lot of centuries in this match and a lot of high breaks going in. So there's my predictions for the last 16 of the World Championships. I got 10 out of 16 in the first round. Let's hope I can get a little bit better in the 8 selections that I've gone for this round. If you like the video, please subscribe, like and comment below, and also comment what you think, what your predictions are going to be in the quarterfinals, and who do you think is going to win the event. I'm going to stick my neck out now and say Judd Trump. In my heart, originally, I thought Mark Selby was going to win. But now he's gone. Kyron's gone. I feel like Judd Trump's going to get there. Who do you think is going to get through? Comment below, and I'll see you in the quarterfinals.